He left us. He left us. He doesn't care about us. He don't appreciate us. He left us. No, I didn't leave you guys, man. I didn't leave you guys. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. I didn't leave you guys, man. I know you guys haven't seen me in a couple of days. In about 3 days, you haven't seen me. Reason being, I was in Santa Rita jail for about 3 days, and the reason being, I went to go get some top ramen noodles from our Safeway on a college in Oakland. So I was walking up from my house, and I brought my flashlight with me. So just doing my little normal thing, and I was walking up to Safeway. So people will pass me by, and they will have their high beam lights on. So I was just minding my own business. Going up to Safeway, but anyway, went in there, and I got 2 packs of top ramen noodles. 2 packs. They're like 2 for $5, right? Because I like to put different stuff with it. So anyway, and I bought some donuts, but the raccoons ate they ate it. I'll explain though. So anyway, paid for the stuff. I think I bought 3 donuts. I paid for it, and I walked across the street from the Safeway in college, and that's the same Safeway that I ran into Steph Curry one day when I think when the Warriors had I think they had just won the first championship, and I think they had a dinner in this little nice restaurant right across the street from the Safeway. So I think Steph Curry had came outside because they had the windows like locked off so people couldn't see them. Me personally, I didn't even know they were up in there. So he came out the restaurant. I had 2 bags of grocery at that time, and I was coming across the street. I was trying to go down that main street, and there was like a black Jeep, and like Steph Curry was standing by the side, and we looked at each other. But I had the 2 bags in my hand, but I didn't do that run up to celebrities and ask for autographs and stuff like that. I don't do that. I give them their space. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just gave them a head nod, and I just kept going about my business. But anyway, so I was walking down the main street because if you know on College, the Safeway on College Avenue, where the restaurant is, there's like a little coffee shop that's like in between. That's like in front of the Safeway. So went down that street, and I had my flashlight with me anyway. So I was doing my little thing, walking. So as soon as I got down to the main part, there's another street that goes this way. So I went this way and then went down. So like this white truck had like a dent on the side of it. It's like one of them like Tahoe trucks or Cadillac trucks. He pulled up. There was like a little school on I think it's like on 63rd. So I'm coming down, and then all of a sudden he turned the truck in my direction and had his high beam lights on me. And my reaction was to go get a rock and try to crack the window, but he was reaching behind the thing like he had something with him. So I said, you know what, let it go. I kept going down. I think I was 63rd anyway. So got past our Telegraph, and I'm still going down because when you cross Telegraph, there's like these little restaurant, got like a little white picket fence, but then across the street there's like a crosswalk for like school children, but across the street there's like this brown fence, but then there's this like a little restaurant where you can buy food and dining out and eat. So I cross the street. So as soon as I get down on our Racine now, I'm on one side of the street. The car pulled up on the opposite side. We arrived there at the same time. So I had my flashlights, and I said, okay, let's go across the street, right? So the person that was driving the car now, they turned the same time I was turning, and then they had on their high beam lights, super bright, to where it could cause like permanent damage, like to your eyes. And I'm like, what? So me, I couldn't. I was hurt. I was like, huh? I went and got a rock. I was looking for it, and I launched, and I just launched it at the car. Launched it, and I guess it hit it. So the car went down Racine before you hit what's that, Alcatraz, before you hit Alcatraz. And then she turns around, she's like, oh, you hit my car. She's like, UAH, if you know what AH stand for, UAH, can't say the word on camera, but you hit my car, FFF, bleep bleep, UAH, you hit my car. And I'm like, stop following me. You hit my car. I'm going to call the police. So now I turn around. Now I'm looking for another rock now, because now I'm serious. And then every time I walk upon her now, she turns around and then speed off. And the way she was driving and turning and swerving let me know that she was tied to the streets. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me keep going. She kept coming up behind me. And then she'll follow me down. I hit Shattuck. She kept coming. And she kept cursing and swearing. And then she went on 58th Street, made a U-turn right where Bushrod Park is. And then she kept coming. I'm like, really? So now I picked up another rock. I said, okay, you keep coming. I'm gonna set the record straight. And then she went around another corner. Every time I tried to approach her, she kept going around another corner, then come back up, because I'm on foot. She got a car, so you know a car covers a lot of ground if you're on foot. And she kept cursing like, UAH, I'm gonna call the police. You hit my car. You this, you that. I said, okay, all right, whatever. So I'm walking down now. So I got on Dover Street, made a right, and then I went down 58 now, and then all of a sudden I seen 3 police cars come, and then they stopped me, and she pulled up in the car. She's like, oh, the police is gonna arrest you. I'm gonna make sure. She's like, I'm gonna make sure you go to jail, UAH. And then she got out of the car, and then she tried to tell them like, oh, I just got off work. I just came from KFC and all this. It's a lie, but I will explain. And then the police officer approached me, and they told me to stand over by the wall and in front of this house. And they told me to put my stuff down. They told me to take my hands out of my pocket, which I did. Say what's up to the police, by the way. I didn't curse at them, or I don't disrespect police, but I'll explain why. So anyway, police came, and then another one came, and then they asked me some questions. They read me my rights, and they told me I have a right to remain silent. But me, I just speak my mind. I said, look, I didn't create this problem. She was following me all this time. So I kept talking to him, and then all kind of it was a black police officer that came up. But then another, I think it was Asian or Filipino officer came up, and then about 4 police officers that came, and they told me to spread my legs, put my hand behind my head, and they, they pat me down, and and I said, look, all I have in the bag is just my receipt for these, my receipt plus the ramens and plus some donuts, and she came out the car. She tried to tell the police like, oh, I just got off work. I just came from KFC. He dented my car. But the street was kind of, your street lights, with the street lights, it only give you so much visibility. But what the street light don't show you is that the car was already scratched up. The car was beat up and dented up, like it was dent. It was all dent all over the car. It's like she was in a street race or something, and she crashed the car or something like that. So anyway, she tried to say, oh, my car is dented and blah. He dented my car, but the car's already dented up. So the police came over to me, and then they put the handcuffs on me. and they put me in the back of the car. You know, I complied. I didn't try to fight with the. I don't fight with no police. I don't fight police officers. You know, I give them their respect and that's it. But anyway, they put me in the back of the police car, and then they had the window down, and they asked me if I need any air conditioning in the back. I said, any air. They told me that they're like, we're gonna reel the window down, put some air conditioning so you can breathe and stuff like that. Anyway, and then another lady, another female officer, she pulled up. I think she did like the crime scene work or detective work, and they read me my rights, and they asked me if I need an attorney and all that stuff. So yeah. But I sat there and I told her, I said, look, I said, she created this problem. She really did. She was following me. So she had the high beam light in my face. It was so bright I couldn't even see, super bright. And then she tried to speed off, and I'm like, really, And I told the cop, and they told me like, look, we got to, we have to arrest you, because there's a dent on the car, you damaged your car. But what they didn't see is that the car was already damaged already. It was already damaged. The car was already damaged. It got dent on it, scrapes, just like the white truck that cut in front of me, and then had the high beam light set in my face. Him too. So they couldn't see it because the street lights only give off so much glare. But anyway, and she was like pushing against the car, and she's like, "Oh, I got off work. I just got off work, and I came from KFC and all this." It's all lies. So anyway, they took me down to the officer. They took me to Santa Rita jail. They had me in the width is like 8 by 5, like 8 feet this way, and then the length is like 5 feet this way, 8 this way, a metal seat and a concrete seat with a wall and a roll of toilet paper. And I was in that, and when that's what they put me in, because when I got down to Santa Rita, they fingerprinted me and checked my blood pressure. They checked my temperature. Checked. They treated. I would say they treated me right. They treated me right because they was checking my health, my breathing. They did all that. They had me taking pictures. Still got the band on me with my mugshot. But anyway, they give me some they were just they took my phone from me, my wallet, keys, everything. They took all that, and I went in and I just complied. I didn't say anything. I didn't argue with him or try to fight him I just complied. Anyway, went in, and when they were about to walk me off to the jail cell, I told the officers, I said, look, I want to be in a cell by myself. So they put me in a 5 by 8 this way, 5 feet this way, 8 feet that way, a metal toilet seat over here, and you got the wall, and I got a roll of toilet paper. And I was up in there that following night. So I was sitting there, and I was doing a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, reflecting on all the scripture that I've learned all over the years, and and I drew that little space and little cell, it humbles you, but then it molds you into what it molds you. So me, I absorbed it, took it, wasn't even tripping. I sat there, prayed, meditated, I did a lot of prayer, and I felt better. I felt better because now I can it wasn't so like I wouldn't say it wasn't so bad after all. If I would have went into another room with where people that were already arrested and they were already there, then I couldn't focus on my prayers like I would want to when I'm talking to my heavenly Creator. So I wouldn't be able to focus. So I went into a cell by myself. I told the police officer to put me in a cell by myself, because I think in the Bible Jesus Christ say, when you pray, go into your inner room, shut your door, and then talk to your Heavenly Father in secret. And that way you can, your Heavenly Father can listen to your prayers and hear what you got to say. And that's the role I took. Of course, there's another one that says, whenever you pray, have your say upon your bed, and stuff like that. But anyway, so that's the role I took, and I was sitting here, and I was just, it molded me, it humbled me, it disciplined me. I didn't get mad and beating on the door, and I just sat there, quiet, and had my head back, and I was just sitting there praying and talking to my Heavenly Creator, and that's it. So I sat there, and then the next day, I sat there, and then they took me to another room. They asked me some questions about, am I seeing things and am I hearing things, and did all that, and then they put me back in, and then the officer told me, the officer that helped me, he was a good officer, because on my way out of Santa Rita, he was the one that came in with the I'll tell you anyway. But anyway, they were good officers, man. So I treated them with dignity and respect, So I kept I just meditated on what I learned over the years, and all the scriptures and songs I've sang and all that, So yeah. But other than that, man, they moved me now to another area, and I was sitting there, and I was able to handle the pressures, the pressures and the whatever issue, whatever issues jail presents. I was able to handle. To be able to handle it, because I had that time to really pray. It really works. But anyway, the next day they moved me now to another section, and they put me up on in the B section in Santa Rita, but that section was already taken over, and then some of the dudes, they were getting mad that I came up there, and I'm like, okay, let me stay over here. And then there's somebody else came and said, no, you don't want to stay over there, because if something came up missing, and then something jumped off, and then okay, come over here. And I sat there for a minute. I said, okay, I could deal with this. And and I told everybody, I said, look, I don't steal things. I won't mess with any of your things. I will ask questions and stuff like that. So yeah. But other than that, it was I would say a humbling experience. But other than that, man, they had me go see a nurse. The nurse told me my court date. Gave me a shot. Checked my heartbeat, my blood sugar level, everything. They did all that. So yeah. But yeah. So that's why you guys didn't see me. When I didn't put out any content. So anyway. All the officers, then the officers at Santa Rita, I treated them with dignity and respect, so I never disrespected any of them, so, and they in return treated me the same way, so, other than that, man, yesterday I was sitting in the lobby. They had let us out the cage, like when they let people out. They let us out the cage, so we was in the main auditorium. Some people were watching TV. I was sitting at a table by myself, but I was looking at a Laker game. And next thing I know, the officer walked in with a paper and said, he called my name and said, "You're free to go." And I'm like, huh? You're free to go? And he said, "You're free to go." And I think I wasn't even there. I don't think the day was even over when they moved me to the new section, and I was out of there. And they told me to take my mattress with me. Some dude was giving me like a piece of paper to I guess he wanted me to help him out on commissary and stuff like that. So yeah, I came out of there, man. But they put us in a holding tank for about 2 hours again before they let us go. And while I was up in there, and people were asking me like, like why was you up in here? I said, look, I went to Safeway to go get 2 packs of top ramen, and I ran into a little issue, and then I told him, I said, look, man, I took a rock and threw it at a lady's car because she was trying to blind me with her headlights. And they were like, wait a minute, you threw a rock at a white woman? And I'm like, yeah. And like, you crazy? And they started busting out laughing and saying all kind of stuff. And yeah, but I said, yeah. I said, man, that woman was trying to blind me with her headlights. She really was. And I explained it to him, and it was like, maybe she was trying to get at you or something. And I'm like, nah, that ain't the way you do it. But she had intent when she was shining her headlights at me, man, and I wasn't gonna go for it, so you don't take your headlights on your car and then use it like another and then use it like a weapon to target someone else. So I came out of there. We were slipping a bolt in a holding tank again, and then we collect our things, and we had to walk down this long hallway. Then the officer that put me in the holding tank, he said, "Oh, you're free to go," and he was all laughing and giggling, and he was like, and we talked for a little bit, and I would say, it was a humbling experience, especially being in a cell that small, in a cell that small. It was a humbling experience, but other than that, man, when they released me, it was about, I would say about 9 o'clock, about 10 o'clock ish at night. Last night, about 10 o'clock. And then when I was coming out of Santa Rita, there's this long walkway, and then the same woman that I think I threw the rock at, she was in the parking lot. She was in the parking lot with another person. So, but I had my flashlights with me. Where my flashlights at? They're around here. I was putting my flashlights together, and then when I flashed the light, she took off, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So I came down, and then them dude was like, you flash your light at them? So I'm like, yeah. I said, man, look. I tried to tell him. I said, look, these times are dangerous, and I told him, I said, you got to keep a flashlight with you because these times are dangerous, And he's like, he was trying to tell me, like, don't get yourself in no more, in another situation. I'm like, I said, no, I say I understand that, but in these times, man, you just have to be aware and be alert, and I was telling them what religion I go to too, so. It's like, oh, you say you one of them? I'm like, yeah. So, they told me, like, I told him, I said, look, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. He was like, you one of Jehovah's Witnesses? I was like, yeah. It's like, and I was telling them, I said, look, man, and I shared them some scriptures, but at the time when the situation happened, man, I was like, it just, she's like, you don't do that, man, you just don't do that to people, and that's why I went the way it went the way it did, So anyway, I was sharing scriptures with a lot of them based on what I've learned so far. Try to keep them calm and talk to them. But so yeah. It was a humbling experience, So, but other than that, man, the fact that she came back again, and then she was sitting outside in the parking lot by Santa Rita Jail when you come down that ramp, and then she was trying to hide in the dark, and then when I looked at and by the headlights I can tell that she's one of those people that was following me, and I'm like, really? So I just turned on my flashlights, and I decided to shine it to see who it was, So yeah. But other than that, man, Yeah, I mean, she took off, you know. And, you know, I went over to the this little minivan and got some water, and then he just, yeah, you know, we went on this little shuttle bus, and then we had to get to the we got to the BART station, then we went home. But yeah, that was it. But when I the next day now, which is today, I woke up and I went on a mission. I said, okay, I remember the car being red. Okay, I wonder if this person lived in the area. And then I went around looking and looking and looking, and then I found the car that tried to run me over. I mean, the car that had this the headlights on me, and the person that did it, she lived right around she lived on the next block over. She lived on the same block that I live on, but around the corner on the opposite side. And I'm like, and I'm just sitting there looking at it. I'm like, you serious? This who did this? You know. So anyway, so now tomorrow, Thursday, we have to I have to go to court. But what I did today though was I backtrack all my steps on how I got up to Safeway. I backtracked my steps from where I live, and I went down to where the police officers arrest me. Then I backtracked every step, every corner, every intersection, where I ran into her at, you know, what kind of car she was driving, you know, and I backtracked where I ran into that white truck that had the dent on the side of it. And I found that truck this morning. I found it. It was parked in front of the in front of this house. So yeah, I backtracked all the way now. Went back up to Safeway, backtrack all the way where that I came from, all the way back to the house. So yeah, but yeah, I had to do that because, you know, you know, it's called evidence. You just have to. I mean, you know, in today's time, man, you just don't let people pick on you, you know, just because they think they can just get away with it, and then, or they think you're some pushover or something like that. So, you know, yeah. But other than that, man, that's why you didn't see me in a couple of days. You know, you didn't see me. You know, you know, it was a situation that, you know, what turned out to be a peaceful evening in the very beginning ends up being a bad situation. You know, now you say, could I, now you're saying, could I have refrained myself from throwing that rock? That part I don't even know. But when you have a high beam light and someone does that to you, you know, I don't think a person is thinking, you know, about not to retaliate. You know, I don't think a person will ever think not to retaliate. You know, so you know, when she had that bright on me, she had intent. You know, she had intent. You know, and I know a court is going to ask her, okay, why would you arrive on the same block, but on the opposite side, and at the same time? You know, why would you do that? What was you doing? And how? And if you're coming from work and KFC and all this, why would you go down the same, like this, take the same direction that this man was taking? Yeah, so she got some questions to ask, you know, and the fact that, you know, a judge might ask her now, are you a part of a gang or a group? Because now, you know, I got other license plate numbers plus houses that's on the same block that I live that's tied to all this. So yeah, I don't think nobody's going to be able to get away from this, you know, this whole situation once I show them the entire list of all the people that I'm dealing with. So yeah, sometimes, you know, just because I don't have a vehicle, that don't give you the right to be going around thinking that you can pick on anybody just because they don't have a car. You know, that person have rights too. You know, so yeah. So anyway, but other than that, man, yeah, that's why you guys you didn't see me see me Monday or you didn't see no content from me. I think Monday or Tuesday. So I think the last time you saw me put out content was on Tuesday. You know. So yeah. Yeah. So I will get back to it, but tomorrow now I got to get up in the mornings and go down to court. I got to be at court at 9 o'clock, meaning that I got to be out at the house at about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So yeah. But other than that, man, you know, and then get ready for court. So today I just went on a mission today just to backtrack my steps, every street corner, every street I came down, you know, and yeah, and I'm gonna show the judge. I have the receipt for these. I have the receipt for these, and yeah, and I'm gonna bring everything to court tomorrow. So yeah, I will present my information to the judge, and I said, look, this problem could have been avoided. You know, this could have been avoided. I didn't create this problem. You know, I just was minding my own business, and when I'm going out at night, I have no intention or ill will to mess with to be causing problems with people. But just because I'm on foot, that doesn't give you the right to be pursuing me and then thinking that's okay. It's not, you know. So there's a thing called self-defense. So you have, you know, at some point you're gonna have to defend yourself, you know, in this world, you know. So yeah. But I will try to make my case to the judge tomorrow, you know, and I'm gonna show him every street corner I came down, where the police stopped me at, where they you know, where the situation started, what street she was on, what block and street we were both on, and yeah, because like Racine go this way, she's on this block though, like on 63rd. This is like 63rd, but she's like on 62nd. So we were on the same block, but she was on the opposite side. So yeah, and I must spill my beans and let the situation you know let the judge do his thing. But I'm not gonna go in there trying to disrespect no judge or anything like that. No. And no disrespect to any judges out there, whether municipal court, superior court. I'm just gonna lay it out there and just let it be known. But yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, this is where I'm at. Do I need you know, I should make another video for this, but that's what happened to me on, you know, on Monday, you know. So yeah, but this is just to let you know. But I will get back to what I was doing. Do I need do I need money for my YouTube channel? Well, here's what I say to all this. What do I say to do? What I say about that? When it comes to my YouTube channel, I would say donate or support the channel with what you can afford and what you can donate. You know, I'm not going to ask you to give up all your entire life savings. No, no. No. That ain't right. You know, so, I would say donate what you think you can, what you can give. You know, whatever that number is. Whatever that number is. If you feel comfortable with donating that, or donating this or donating that, whatever feel comfortable to you, you know, whatever you like to donate and what do you want to donate, you can do it, you know. So I'm not gonna put a specific number on it now. That's up to the viewer's discretion. So yeah, but other than that, man, yeah, that's where I was at when it came to Monday. I came Monday, you know. What turned out to be what started as a peaceful evening, just minding your own business, turn into something else, you know. So you just never know, you know. And like the reason why I keep a flashlight with me now is because when you go down the street at night, you know, you don't know who or what. You don't know who or what that's out there, you know. You don't know you don't know where danger lurks. So I use my flashlight as a, you know, they like to try to keep me safe from the, you know, from harm, you know. So yeah. But to that person though, that, you know, that she tried to play by like shining your high beam lights at someone, I would tell her to don't do it, because don't never do that again, because the next person you might try that with, they might not be so lenient, you know. They might not be so lenient, you know. They might not have a rock on them. They might have something else, and it might not be it might not go it might not be good for you, you know. And so just because you see someone might be walking the streets, that don't mean that they're not. That don't mean just because you see them walking the street that they're quiet and everything. It don't mean that they're quiet. If you do something to them, they might, you know, do something to you. So I would tell her not to do that again, you know, because the next person, she might try that on and then thinking it's funny, and I'm just going to take my high beam lights and just flash it at any person. It might not go good for her. I would tell her to stop doing that, you know. Seriously, I would tell her to. And don't. I would tell her not to put herself in a situation like that again, you know, because in these trying times, you know, you have to, in these, you know, it's going to be a challenge, you know, and you have to, I think you have to try to play it safe nowadays, you know, especially when you go out at night now, because you don't know where danger lurks, you know. So yeah. But other than that, man, that's what happened to on Monday morning. That's what happened on Monday morning, you know. Monday night. That's what happened, you know. What turned out to be a peaceful evening ended up being turned out something completely different, you know. So yeah. But I would say let this be a lesson to people that's out there, you know. You don't just go down the street thinking, you know, you can just pick with anyone, because the outcome may be completely different, you know. The outcome might be completely different, you know. I would say to people that's doing that, you know, you need to try to make peace with people, you know. Try to make peace, you know, and then take it from there. Yeah. Good thing I prayed, and it really worked. You know, it really helped. So yeah. But anyway, but other than that, man, tomorrow I have to go to court, so it means that I got to be up by 6 in the morning. That's what it means, and then I got to get going. But after that, I'll be back doing what I usually do here. Anyway, thanks guys for listening or hearing what I got to say. Hope you guys are doing well out there in the world in these challenging times, and stay safe out there, you know. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Dark side. Go. Base.